watch Survivor, and when the show ends, you really wanna talk about it with like-minded friends. It might be hard to find some, but don't you shed a tear. Check out the Purple Rock Podcast, and this is what you'll hear. John will make some dumb jokes, Andy likes to yell and curse, and if they're not available, the backup hosts are so much worse. Spend the whole time being jerks, telling you you're wrong, and so we got this other jerk to sing you our theme song. It's the Purple Rock Survivor Podcast.
Welcome back to the Purple Rock Survivor Podcast, home of the original alliance between two weirdos. I am John, my co-host is Andy, and this week we are talking Survivor 44, Episode 5. Hopefully, we've got the kinks worked out from last week's technical difficulties. And hey, Andy, speaking of kinks, I wanted to talk about our new sponsor that we got for this week. As you know, I've long been waiting for a sponsor for this show, and this is really just right down our alley. You could have just fucking jumped in at any time.
I was waiting to see where that would go. I'm like, I thought I wanted to know. I'm like, okay, at some point he's going to get into something really bad, and then I need to interrupt.
No, it's damn. Nipple clamps, Andy. We're sponsored by nipple clamps this week.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But I only support one brand when it comes to that.
Well, unfortunately, until we actually get some money exchanging hands, we're not going to name a nipple clamp brand. I'm sure there are several.
I actually found it's fine to go with generics, like once the patents were released.
Yeah, that's when the quality started getting good, when the competition entered the market.
And speaking of release, oh wait, what are we doing? You know what? This is why they call us the Disgusting Brothers.
Yes. Also, everyone has tuned out by now. So now we can get into some discussion about Survivor. Let's talk about this week's episode. First of all, how'd you like this one?
I really enjoyed it. It was one that was short on plot. It obviously ends in, not an exciting manner. And it didn't matter because so much of it was hilarious.
Exactly. This was entertaining television, which is why we watched the show. For me, a whole lot of entertainment value, and then also preserved entertainment value for future weeks, which is equally important because I need to, there's been times when seasons have given us an entertaining episode and then you're like, well, shit, this was great, but now we've got nothing left going forward. And I feel like this one left everything intact. We're good. Well, other than Matthew's shoulder, we left everything intact. We're good going forward. We have a lot of places this season can go. I'm into it.
I think we could have gone to tribal council. I'm pretty confident that the person we would have lost would have not subtracted anything from the future of the season. But yeah, it ended up not mattering because there were just several times throughout this episode when I was laughing out loud. And, much like the beginning of this episode of the podcast, the first and probably funniest part was just two bros just getting down talking.
Oh, do you think Terry Dietz just got hard watching that at home? You think he was like, yes, finally, someone else understands.
Why couldn't they be there with me?
Exactly. I mean, obviously, you and I, as fit and sexy podcast hosts, we encounter these hardships all the time that Danny's talking about. Like, things are just stacked against us, So that was really relatable.
No one has it harder than we.
Exactly. I mean, it's so rare that people like us ever have things break our way, and Brandon, as a handsome, tall, athletic man, when do things ever go well for him in life, much less Survivor?
Here's the thing. He's not completely wrong in the context of Survivor. The general meta of Survivor is their type will be targeted right about now. Right. And I know people push back against that, and there's reason to do it. But it's like, and they'll name a few examples of, athletic types that have won. But most don't. And if you think that I'm making that up, you're lying to yourself because they are never, ever the highest picks in our drafts. In fantasy drafts, no. We know that those types. So, that part wasn't wrong. What was wrong is that they're having this whole conversation with a third person there for whom none of this applies. And they just can't not talk right past her. And it was amazing. No, just like the way they edited it all together was just top notch brilliance because, you know, they let us sit with it and we see it. And like my reaction is like, are they really talking about it? And like at first, Danny even tries to save it. It's like, oh no, yeah, you too. But then they keep going and they interject with Carolyn registering her, you know, disgust and frustration about what's going on here. And then they let it play a bit more. And then here's the real key to the comedy, because we'd gotten the gist, right? These two idiots are just going to keep talking about their alliance and not care at all that Carolyn's there. Just a further example of people just completely underestimating Carolyn as a player and the value she brings to this game. We got it. And then they give us just a bit more. That's the key to comedy, you know, just because, and it really hammers home that these two fucking lunkheads have no idea what they're doing. And it was just, mwah.
And the part that sold it, though, is that, you know, we have Carolyn tell us that they're ignoring her. And like, that's good. And then you see a little bit more of them ignoring her. But then she tells them to their faces, hey, you're kind of ignoring me here. And the response is like, oh, no, yeah, really sorry about that. 3 seconds later, right back to looking directly at each other like there is no one else there. Just talking around her. Just
the plans that they're going to have. And obviously you don't need to be part of this because A, you don't fit the mold which we're in. B, we don't expect you to last them through the night. It was amazing.
Oh my God. Just the complete condescension and dismissiveness, like just chef's kiss. Like what is happening here? She even pointed out to you like, hey, I'm sitting right here, and you kept going.
Yeah, there could be 1,000 blogs, and there has been over like this topic in Survivor this season alone. None of them were as effective as showing, you know, the way that certain men approach this game and, you know, the value they see in their female competitors than that scene did. It was just perfect. And yeah, no, look, Danny's not wrong that, you know, it behooves strong guys to try and team up as opposed to, you know, go against each other. This is the right now, you know, we know now that next week they are going to be on one beach. They will not be merged. But now's that time when they will be targeted first. He's not wrong. But you can't have the conversation and only make it a two-way conversation when there's a third party in the room. But she might as well not have been.
Well, I really enjoyed, because again, there were layers to this. I really enjoyed that they basically drafted Josh into this plan without his consent.
Yes, it was amazing.
And then it made Carolyn hate Josh. It's like if you have a partner and they have a dream about you cheating on them and then they're mad at you, like, you didn't do shit. Josh didn't do anything. He never agreed to this. He was never any party to this whatsoever. They mention his name and she's like, oh, that fucking Josh. How dare he? How dare he be involved in this plan that he was never remotely aware of? So good.
But it's ultimately the only revenge she can get for this profoundly shitty picnic that she had to endure, other than the food probably is great, was like, fuck it, I'm going to get rid of somebody. I can't vote them out yet, but this guy's got to go. And yeah, it was amazing. The only way it could be like, you know, it wouldn't be completely stupid by Danny. And for the record, I want to make clear, I think it was completely stupid by Danny. I don't think there was a sinister plan, but it was like the extra brain level genius would be. It's like he dropped Josh on purpose. He was trying to get Josh voted out of the game because he couldn't have been more effective with it. Because I think Josh was dead to rights, gone. You know who else thinks that? Josh.
Josh.
So hey, he's celebrating. He's like, why are you so scared about tribal council, Josh? I thought you had a fake idol. More on that later. Yeah, he's just totally, it was amazing. It's one of my favorite scenes in a long time because both it was just hilarious and just their, you know, complete obliviousness. And I also just thought it was just really effective in showing what a dynamic is like in Survivor. And I also thought it was really effective in showing Carolyn.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed that it wasn't just left to there wasn't subtlety left to the audience to pick up on the fact that they're ignoring her. Like, she explicitly told us and then told them. Like, that was what added to it. It's like, it was, you know, you could see it happening. Then she explains it, and then she tells it to them. Like, it layered upon itself. And so then by the end, I'm just dying. Like, what a scene.
Like, you think that you'd be shamed, right? Like, when she brings it up, like, oh my God.
Yes.
Like, even, like, forget, like, just, like, socially, like, you know, that you would be like that for another human being, but more also in a game in which that sort of thing really matters. Like, oh God, we've really fucked up. Let's make it up to this person. Nope, just like a thing, like a pat on the shoulder for all of that connotes, you know, yes, dear. And then they go right back in.
It really was a there.
Yeah, it was, oh my God. And the end result of this for me is I am now, as a result of that scene and then some others, and it's been building a bit, but definitely that scene clinched it. I am 100% Team Carolyn. I want to see her take these bros down.
All right. Well, that gets into my next question is, you know, what are your feelings on Carolyn after this episode? Because it's been quite a ride with her in just these 5 episodes. And I feel like we've run the gamut of Carolyn reactions. There was certainly, I think, some preconceived notions of what she might be like following that first episode. And, you know, since then, I feel like my opinion has evolved. How about you?
Yeah, no, like she's my favorite player on the season right now. Obviously, that's always a moving target, but like this is the other thing that scene symbolizes. We've seen this theme repeated through the first 5 episodes. I suspect we'll be seeing it repeated for as long as she's in this game. People just constantly acting like she has no agency, that she is no game, and being completely wrong. Like, they couldn't be more wrong. She knows exactly what you're doing. She's not just some flighty weirdo who you could ignore during lunch. She knows what's going on. She's aware of it, and she can do something about it, and she seems like she wants to do something about it. Is she a smooth game operator? No. But I think that might lead to more interest, and it also like might lead to her continually being underestimated.
Do you know who else is not a smooth game operator? Fucking Danny, who just had the discussion in front of her.
Yep. I think she's easily outpacing him. Low bar after this. But yeah, no, like I can already fully see it because for one, it's a story that we're already getting, right? Now, whether it's a story all the way to the end of the game, we don't know. But this could very easily be a season in which everybody just casually dismisses the weird older woman who's, you know, very expressive, and they pay the price all the time. And I could see her at final tribal council explaining her actions. It's like, no, you guys thought I was a dummy and you were wrong, because she's already doing that for us, right? Like, she does that in confessional. Yep. So it doesn't look like it's some kind of, you know, savant situation or that we're like trying to put this on her in the way that like, hey, maybe, you know, one day Philip will break out a British accent and say it was all an act. Like, they're like Jam Jam's doing it, you know, Carson's doing it. We get the story of Tika not believing that she could be the person who found the idol. And, you know, exits suggested maybe that was constructed. But yeah, the story so far seems to be overlook Carolyn at your own risk. And if that's what the season's going to be, I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I think Jaime is what we figured, or what we and probably they figured Carolyn actually would be. Like, Carolyn is a weirdo who understands that she's playing a game. Like, she's outwardly odd, but it's not like she's oblivious. Like you said, she's got an eye for what's happening. She can tell what's going on, and she does want to actively play the game. She's not like flighty or goofy. I mean, she is goofy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that, you know, because of those outward signs, people then, including Jam Jam, think that like, oh, she's a fool and she's not ready to play this game. Like, no, she's weird, but also she's ready to play the game. Yeah. So it's interesting to see, you know, someone like Jaime who seems to actually be oblivious in contrast to Carolyn. And I'm interested to see what happens when when there's actual juxtaposition of those two on the same beach, like, because they're a different type of weird. And I want to see how the other players interact with that.
I'm looking forward to seeing almost how anybody interacts with Carolyn, especially if it would be really interesting if somebody kind of finally clues in. But no, it just seems like everybody, they figure she's that type. And we've seen that type, right? And it's like, the goat type. And they just think that. And there's been so many seasons where you see somebody like Carolyn who's just kind of easily dismissed and it seems like they're just going along for it. And wouldn't it be interesting if that person instead showed an awareness of the situation and wanted to do something about it? And that's what we're getting. Like, she is completely aware of what's going on. Is it easy for her? No. We see her struggle with some of the things she has to decide. In this episode, she's like, oh, should I, go with Jam Jam? Should I go with Josh? That's fine. I think that's compelling in its own right that, she's not going to be some game bot for sure. And that, these decisions are difficult for her and that she shares that with us. That's fine because ultimately there's not one thing she's done so far that I didn't agree with completely. And so, when she wasn't very happy with Jam Jam before and the start of this episode. Yeah, damn right. He was treating her like she was don't worry, I'll do the thinking for you, Carolyn. He wasn't as dismissive as Danny and Brandon, but it was clear that he thought because I saved this weird girl, she'll be on my side. But I'm the one with the power. And he was wrong. And he's still wrong. He still does not have as much power as Carolyn does have because, she actually has a real idol. I'm looking forward to seeing if that can keep going because I've never really seen somebody like that before. That was constantly dismissed and was aware of the dismissal and wanted to do something about it. I mean, I guess the closest would be Abby Maria, but that's a very different vibe than what Carolyn has.
Yeah, and I also wonder if going forward, she finds someone with whom she makes like a legit solid alliance with because I don't necessarily know who it would be. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know that she needs that. Like, I think she could genuinely float through this game without that single solid ally. She just would, get through votes and be on the right side of votes. She doesn't necessarily have to tie herself to one specific person. But I'm wondering if she did, who would that specific person even be? I just don't know.
No idea.
Like, does she want another weirdo? Does she want someone who's like, who's a brainiac? Is she looking over at Zane like, oh, this fucking gawky nerd, I want that guy on my side? I don't know.
Yeah.
She's an enigma.
But as you say, she doesn't need it. She has gotten through the hard part of the game for her type.
Right. She should have been an early boot. That's a common thing for her. Or for her type, I should say.
Yeah. Now, if it came up, oh man, we should vote out Carolyn, everybody's going to be like, we don't need to vote out Carolyn. Hell, there's probably going to be a bunch of people trying to prevent that from happening because they want to go to the end with her. And then, if near the end game, she, uses that idol or even just reveals that she has her idol, that could be huge. The comp there would be Marianne. That she's a little different from Marianne, but the same idea. People dismiss that Marianne was a real game player because she was, this, joyful, bit spazzy person and that she was so young. And then once they realize, oh, wait, she isn't that, and she has us all dead to rights, and I think Carolyn could deliver that as well. You guys thought I was the sucker, but it was actually you guys who were the sucker all along. I think that would be amazing. And as terms of and she's very compelling. At the beginning of the season, I wasn't sure if she's just a bit too much, and now I feel like nope, she's the right amount of much.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that going into this, these next few episodes, she's got the weird shield up, right? Like you said, it's not going to be that she's a target because she's weird and people are going to have these are going to be new people who are forming their impressions of her. The first impressions are likely to be like, oh, I know who this person is. I've watched enough Survivor to know that someone who looks and acts like this is the weirdo and I don't have to worry about them. Let's set our priorities elsewhere. So she's probably got a couple votes here where she's going to be fine. And then, she can start playing after that. And by that point, people will probably be surprised.
Another weirdo that everybody dismissed as having any kind of idea of what was going on in the game and they could just go.
Oh, was there any podcaster who said that weirdo had a 0% chance of winning?
Oh, I'm not suggesting Tony. I'm suggesting Gabler.
No, yes.
Just last season, man. Nobody's like, oh, yeah, whatever, Gabler, he's not a threat. You and I were like, you guys might want to worry a bit about Gabler. So like, I think at this point, the only threat will be if Carolyn proves herself completely unreliable, then, you might want to eliminate the unstable element. But again, that's more in the alliance stage of the game. With the constantly shifting ones, everybody thinks that like, oh, I won't get burnt. I'll use Carolyn to burn others.
Yep.
And then, you get to the finals. Now, Gabler had the benefit of getting to the finals with two other people who were spectacularly nothing. And so just him being like, oh, I guess you aren't as bad as we thought was enough. I think she can do better than that. So, I'm excited for where it would go. So that was one of the funniest part.
Let's talk about one of her specific skills. And speaking of funny parts, you're going to like this. So Josh has this fake idol. I don't know if you're familiar with fake idols, Andy, but see, the concept is you make something that looks like it could be an immunity idol. And 100% of the time, it works every time. I asked earlier, do you think Terry Dietz got hard watching at home? Did you get hard watching at home on this one? Because, man, did it prove the thing you've always said about fake idols.
So much.
They only exist to provide entertainment and the chance to laugh at someone.
Yeah. So last week, we kind of came to a bit of a conclusion. It's like maybe fake idols have even lost their power as entertainment value, as like Sarah didn't even play hers. This is one of those times. They don't get to hear me say this often, listeners. I was wrong, because apparently it's more the evolution of the game, and much in the way strategy evolves and everything. What we've seen with this episode was an evolution of like fake idol entertainment, because in the past it used to be hilarious to watch people get fooled by fake idols. Now It's hilarious to see people try to play fake idols, because that was amazing.
Oh, and just the beauty of earlier showing us Josh saying, oh, I got these beads from Tree Mail. And then cut to later, Jam Jam saying, are these the beads from Tree Mail?
I'm so glad he said it out loud. He didn't save it. He just. And then, this is the second time in 2 weeks, and obviously just a couple days, where people just flat out say to Josh the thing. Hey, are you a surgeon? Oh, no. Hey, aren't these just the beads from Tree Mail? And Josh's like, no, that's a fake. It was, oh my God.
And the beauty, not just Jam Jam saying like, hey, aren't those the beads? But Carolyn saying, hey, that's the same fucking note you showed me last time.
It's another key to Carolyn's game that people can underestimate. But she seems to have a very good bullshit detector. And nobody's cluing to that. Because, it's like, it's the same note. You think I'm not going to know? You just showed it to me yesterday. And people are going to think that, because people are assuming stupidity for Carolyn just because she's weird. And oh God. So I was worried a bit at the first part of the episode, because it seemed like Jam Jam at the very least was entertaining the idea that Josh had a fake idol. But once he saw the thing, oh my God. And then it comes apart.
That was
He's like, be careful with the thing. I'm sorry. He just came. It's nothing. At that point, Jam Jam knows, and he's trying not to let on too much that he knows, but he can't not laugh at the situation. Oh my God.
The grin on his face as he's playing with the frayed string of the fake idol.
Josh probably doesn't even double nodded. It's so fantastic.
Oh, just looking over at Josh like, oh, it's just falling apart so innocently. Like, oh, I don't know what's happening. Yeah.
This very real idol that was made by production.
Oh, and I love, too, that Carolyn specifically says, with Josh right there, Jam Jam, did he show you the idol? Now they're all sitting there, and Josh is called out like he has to do it then. And once again, thank you, Carolyn, for setting up some comedy. Just the MVP of the entertainment of this episode. Just, so good.
Yeah, and I think that's something she brings to the show from an entertainment standpoint, is she doesn't not say the thing. Some people wouldn't say things because of, they're scared of being couth or whatever. She doesn't have that part of her. So she'll just flat out say it in front of people. And that was amazing. Because usually you'd pull Jam Jam aside. So did you see it? Nope, right there in front of Josh. And oh my God, what an amazing liar, Josh! No, it's real. I'm not going home tonight. I'm immune. I have 5 different idols. And like, it's
actually, my shoe is an idol. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It's got a bead on it.
And back when I first introduced the idea that fake idols were bullshit, when it comes to strategy, that's the important part that people need to pick up. I have never said that they aren't fun. I said that they're worthless strategically, and thus, if you care about actually playing Survivor well, knock it off. Don't waste your time. It's a waste of time. But if there's ever a proper way to use a fake idol, and it doesn't seem to be that there is, this is the exact wrong way to play an idol. You can't fake your way into immunity. That's what you want to do with a fake idol. But the problem is, as soon as you start being all like, oh, I got an idol, I'm safe, it's a you doth protest too much type moment. And people are like, if he really had an idol, he wouldn't be telling us. He'd just play it and vote out somebody. And then he's like, oh, well, I'm trying not to use it. Yeah, I bet you are, because it's not real.
And the thing is, like, again, had he just played that as though, like, oh, you know, I'm feeling pretty confident. Just don't say shit. Yeah. Don't say anything about it.
Leave it at the top of your bag so that maybe they find it. Then maybe it can bestow some form of immunity. Again, the only time it's really done that is when Rupert shoved a fucking rock in his pocket, right?
Yes.
Because he never once said he had an idol. That's how it works. People have to discover that you have a hidden idol. You can't tell them. Once you tell them, they'll probably call bullshit, or they'll be like, well, now we have to split votes. We have to do something. But they're never going to be like, oh, crap. Well, I guess he's immune. But Josh is kind of a dummy. No, despite the fact that, we'd have to run and hide because of his high-class career that he is bad at hiding, he's not very bright at these things. So
this is not his specific skill set.
He's so bad at lying, and it's beautiful.
He is.
You know what? I said that if the vote had gone down the way it would have, again, Josh would have gotten voted out. No doubt in my mind. And he's not that interesting. But if he constantly tries to lie to people and they constantly just right away be like, "What are you talking about?" and then that will actually probably continue to be funny for as long as it happens.
Yes. Exactly. And the immediate call out is what I want. Like, don't let it linger. Just straight to his face, call him out.
Because that was, on it, that was probably actually bigger laughs than the bro picnic. The bro one was amazing because it's like, is this really happening? They can't. Oh, they can. Oh, they're still doing it. But yeah, the joy, because it was perfect that it was Jam Jam too, because once that guy, finds something that's amusing, you can tell he's not somebody who can hide it. And so laughing as the thing's falling apart in his hands, and then with us, oh, fantastic.
Oh, just the twinkle in his eye as he's playing with that idol and it's falling apart in his hands, and just trying to, but not entirely trying to hide that smile and laugh. Like, well done. Jam Jam is just, I love Jam Jam. Yeah. He's great.
So
I really want this Jam Jam Carolyn thing I want them to get the band back together. I want that to be the alliance going forward. I don't know that it can be, and I don't know that it even necessarily has to be from Carolyn's end, but come on, just keep each other around. You're great.
At least for a little bit. Yeah. Just play off each other. And I'll say the key point of that scene was the hilarity involved. But, getting back to my whole anti-fake idol stance, it's like, okay, well, what does it hurt, right? It's just another thing. Because Josh wasted time and invested idea that he was going to fake people out this way. He didn't do what he should have been doing to get ahead in Survivor, which was just continue to drive the rift between Carolyn and Jam Jam. Just play Survivor. Stop fucking with the arts and crafts. That's my point. Because they were split up. They weren't happy. All he had to do was play, form connections, which we see him try to do. But no, he doesn't have to do that. He can make Jam Jam feel bad for voting for him because he's got this big fake idol plan. It's like, that's why I get at that. It's not worth the time. And in fact, more often than not, it's detrimental to one's game. And it was in this case. And God bless him for it.
Yeah, not only that, he could have both solidified things with Carolyn and then also had those conversations with Jam Jam that we did see him have to make him think that he might align with Jam Jam. And then suddenly you're in the swing position. You can essentially pick who goes home.
Yeah.
There was no need for arts and crafts. You were probably going to be in a good position.
Because once you do that, you also have to put on a front like that you're confident and all of that. Instead, yeah, it's like you should be offering them things like, hey, look, if you get rid of me, there's only the two of you. I can bring you in. I've got, Danny and Matt and Heidi or something. You can be with us. And because I know Danny and
Apparently
Heidi
he's got
are
Danny and Brandon.
Yeah. And it's just like, no, he doesn't have to because look how smart he is. He's got a fucking bracelet. Yeah. And it's like, it's not even clever. Everybody, grabs the beads with the tree mail. The reason why they're on tree mail in the first place, which just needs to be a parchment, is so people do stuff like that. It's a trap. And, as long as people keep falling on their faces, I suppose I'm glad that it happens. And I suppose to circle to our point last week or whatever week it is, it's why the show doesn't have to give it to them. We've already had two, organically made fakes in this game. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter. People aren't listening to me. They still weave pom-poms. They'll still make fake idols. So you don't need to give it to them.
Yeah. Let's switch tribes here. 'Cause I think we've finally mined all of the comedy that came from that tribe. Although, again, thank you so much for the entertainment this episode. Let's switch over to Zane's tribe because we see Zane in the beginning sad because he doesn't have any nerds to hang out with. But suddenly, young Carson is here and they can finally nerd out together. How exciting for them. Were you so thrilled that your countrymen found another little dork to play with?
I just love the idea in Survivor 44 in the modern era of Survivor that somebody's like, finally, there's some nerds around. It's like, have you looked? There is such a preponderance of nerds on Survivor nowadays that Danny and Brandon get overly excited that they're not around them and forget that there's a third person in the room. And I guess on his tribe there weren't that many, although I suspect Matthew is also a nerd.
Yep.
So it's like, I don't know that that's a problem in modern Survivor. Like, finally somebody to talk nerdly stuff with. It's like, who are you not talking nerdly stuff nowadays?
Also, way to judge a book by its cover, Zane. Just because Carson's scrawny and, looks like that, you just assume he loved Pokemon and Star Wars. What if he was like a big, I don't know, cigarettes and race cars guy? You don't know. He could be interested in other topics.
I want the confessional where Carson was like, dude, you're blowing this for me. I worked hard to get this body. I'm totally not going to be a nerd anymore. I'm on TV and chicks are going to care. No, Lord of the Rings. That's cool and obscure. It's because if you ever go to Carson's Twitter, he's always sharing a photo array. And I know this because that I have to steal photos for the episodes because apparently we're not media enough to get free advertising for them. And every time it's like, oh, here's a shirtless pic of Carson, Frightened Center, and then two other ones. But he's like, and look, bravo, you worked hard on that thing, show it off. But I could just see Carson being like, oh, no, I was a nerd. But now I'm trying to go for this other thing now, if you don't mind.
Really leaving that life behind? I'm all about hitting macros now. And I'm not talking about Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a narrow-casted joke.
I get it though.
My favorite kind.
It was good.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, it was a bit of a thinker. I'll say that. But
yeah. Meanwhile, Zane would never talk to me because I could throw a football. I'm into nerd shit too. But Zane's gonna be like, oh no, not that guy. I'll talk some Hobbit shit with you, Zane.
You know what? This is my fault. I wrote Zane on our breakdown. The guy's name's actually Kane. That's on me.
Fucking shit. You made me say Zane 7 times and I didn't notice.
I just realized
this is how memorable your countryman is, by the way, because I was like, yeah, that sounds right. Zane. There has been a Zane. It's not this guy. This guy's name is Kane.
It's true.
We're getting old.
He feels like a Zane, if that helps. Or at the very least, he does not feel like a Kane. Kane feels too cool a name for this dork who's like, all these guys do is talk about food. Oh yeah, like these macho pros are, talking about this basic human need that they've been deprived from. But you, my friend, we can talk about Star Wars.
No. Yeah, it's this obscure movie that probably no one has ever seen that the fucking bro-iest man at my job recently referenced. And like, to the point that I dislike this person so much, I pretended I had never seen Star Wars.
Nice. That is
just in hopes that he wouldn't continue talking to me. It didn't work. Spoiler alert. He told me the whole plot of Star Wars. I made a bad decision to pretend I hadn't seen it.
Just the first 3 or all 9?
Just the first 3. I was 5 minutes into that conversation screaming in my head, oh God, where's the eject button? I have chosen the wrong path.
I've got a bad feeling about this. Maybe the power move would have been like, oh yeah, I think I have seen that.
Like, oh, there's this little green guy. Yeah, fucking Yoda. I know what fucking Yoda is. Jesus.
Oh, you know what? That's karma. You did that to yourself.
I did. A self-inflicted wound there.
The Kane of your office was just trying to bond. Now, what do we make of this from Carson's end? Is that both, like, we get scenes of both Kane, finally unbroing out with someone, and then, like, Matthew was, like, confiding in him. Are we to get the impression that Carson is good at this stuff? Because, like, he certainly wants us to have that impression. He makes sure to mention that. I don't know.
Yeah, see, that was confusing because I was like, how are people liking him? He's this young little dork. And, like, he can't be that gifted socially.
Yeah, but, like, he was in both Carolyn and everybody on Tika seemed to want to work with him. I don't like him. Like, I just, like, there's a vibe that I don't like. But it's like, am I wrong? Because I think people do. Now, I could, say that maybe the people at Ratu were doing the right thing. They're like, this guy who was just dropped into our midst might be really dangerous. Like, he just came from the getting stuff place. Maybe he has something. So we should probably, butter him up to see what we know. Like, that could be it. I'm trying to figure out what the show is trying to do with him. Are they telling us? Are they signaling that, he's doing really well? And if you don't believe us, listen to Carson. He'll tell you. Or is it like, he thinks he's doing really well, but he's not. But it's just like, that's like the vibe I'm getting. But I feel like that's because the vibe I want to get. Because we haven't seen him actually do poorly in anything. It gives me a vibe. I don't like him.
Here's my question for you. He is this, like, scrawny nerd guy. Do you think he's ever actually been to the Getting Stuff place that you just referenced?
I mean, he certainly suggested that he hadn't when we first meet him, right? And Carolyn's like, "What? No, you're a good-looking guy." And he's like, "Oh, well, I didn't used to be, but look at me now with my glasses off." I think why I don't like him is I never like when people brag about their greatness in Survivor without the supporting evidence, right? You give me supporting evidence, I'm all for you talking your shit. But like, but when it feels unsupported, then I'm like, yeah, whatever. And that's kind of I'm feeling. But then I'm like, I guess people were really talking to him.
See, I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that he's being set up as a villain, and like he's going to reach that point of hubris where he's like, yes, it's Carson's game now, and then that's when it's all going to come falling apart.
That's what I'm hoping for. I am hoping, and that it's Carolyn that does it to him.
Oh, that'd be so great. Because that would be the perfect comeuppance, right? Like him thinking I'm so smart and then underestimating Carolyn, as you know he does. And then just that being his undoing. Perfect. Beautiful narrative arc. Let's make that happen.
But getting back to the point about like, how that's presented as this great unique thing that like two nerds on Survivor get to talk to each other. Man, on the other tribe, we got two nerds in love. Like, there are nerds everywhere I look.
This place is lousy with nerds.
What did you think
Crawling with them.
What do you think about this week's edition of the Matt and Franny love story?
Oh, man. I think my favorite part of this one, for the entertainment value again, was just that Franny was super hyped that Jaime hadn't picked up on Franny's closeness to Matt. And Franny is definitely thinking like, oh, that's because, me and Matt have been playing it cool. And like, yeah, this is working now. Like, Jaime didn't even catch on. When in reality, it's almost definitely just that Jaime is completely oblivious to all things. It has nothing to do with anything that Franny and Matt have or have not done. It's just the person that Jaime is that she's not picking up anything that's going on. You have not toned it down in any way.
No, she's just excited to be around people who know how to breathe. It was really adorable when even the producers were like, "Hey, you're blushing." She's like, "Hey." I refuse to believe that they're fooling anyone other than the new person they're missed who is very confident about their own abilities. We'll get into that later. But I will say when I was watching and, how they're like, hugging and they keep talking like, oh, when this thing's over, maybe we'll go on a date or something. I could see that happening. And like when we were first introduced to the idea of Matt and Franny, Emma had the observation that it's nice that we could get a showmance that wasn't just two young hotties. And I think this scene, though, shows why we don't. Why all of the, past relationships, I can't think of the reality show word for it right now. Showmance, thank you, are just between young hotties. And it's because young hot people don't mess around and take this long to get on with it, right?
They will shoot the shot.
Yes. When you are young and hot and you have that confidence that comes from the understanding that most people are very receptive to your advances, you get the job done quickly. Meanwhile, these two are just pussyfooting around with it. And look, it might be smarter Survivor-wise that they are. You don't want to be the obvious showmance, although I feel like they are, just without the added side benefits. And it just made me think of high school. Here's a little story time. It's an illustrative example of what I'm talking about. So when I was in high school, I went on a trip to our nation's capital. It was this kind of thing where they bring teenagers from throughout the country to this facility in Ottawa where you can learn about, Canada and our history, and then also like a vocation. The week I chose was about journalism, which was not a job I ever wanted. It's just that there was different themes, and that one sounded a bit more interesting. And then straight up, I think I chose that one because I figured the chicks would be hotter. And I'm not going to apologize for the decision-making processes of my 17-year-old self. It is what it is.
Well, see, I just want to know were the results as predicted.
So first day I'm there, and we're split into like smaller groups for like administrative purposes. Kind of think like homeroom type idea. This is like, again, 1 week program. And there was this girl, and I was like, she was the hot one and the pretty girl in the class. And you know what? I'm away from my normal environment. Frankly, the main reason I came here was to maybe chat up some girls. So like, I'm doing it. I just need an opening. I need an opportunity to chat up this girl. So the first evening there, there's just like, they arranged like this walk so that, you can kind of see the neighborhood and find out where the local corner store is if you ever need to go there to like buy various supplies, batteries, water, or whatever. So our group goes, and I'm like, yeah, this is it. I'm going to do it. And then this other girl starts chatting me up, and she was like, a nice girl, but kind of weird. Maybe the Carolyn of the story, if you will. And at first I'm being nice. And then I'm like, but no, how do I break away from this conversation? Very smart 17-year-old me. I find this other girl who is just kind of like quiet and not talking to anybody. I bring her into the conversation. So then they start talking to each other, and then I break away, and I'm ready. This is it. I'm going to make my move. This hot French guy had already scooped her up. Like, just in that first night, we'd probably been there maybe a couple of hours, and already he's talking to her. And like, damn, I missed my window. But it's like, whatever, that's just talking. All I was planning on doing is kind of like introducing myself, getting to know her, make her laugh or something like that. Later that night, I go to like the common area, just to like make a phone call to my parents. Hey, I'm here. Everything's fine. They're already making out in the corner. Like, that's how fast it is with the hots.
See, he came in with the comment ça va, and she was That's it. She melted.
Oh yeah,
It was too
and
late.
she wasn't French, right? But this guy was so French. I do believe, like, he's Quebecois, so he did speak English enough. But like, think of like a teenage, French hot guy, and that was this guy. Didn't have a chance. Yeah, no, look, your boy did all right. I did end up hooking up later in the week with someone else, and actually, to get to Matt and Franny's part of the story where they're like, hey, when we get off the island or something, like months later. I was actually able to, make things happen with the first girl.
Congratulations for getting that hug.
Yeah, sure. There was hugs. But kind of the same deal, man. Like, did I have the game to just do it right away? No, I needed months of like long distance phone calls and handwritten letters, which both of those things show my advanced age in the story. But
yeah, well, unlike you, I mean, I was obviously just slaying, and the first high school girlfriend I ever got was because I found out she was interested in me. that was the selling point for me.
No, I mean, again,
I was like, I don't know who this is, but I hear she's interested. Ergo, this is going to be my first girlfriend.
Actually, for real, the girl that I ended up hooking up with that week, kind of the same deal. Her friends her newfound friends, right? Everybody met like 3 days prior. It's like, oh, do you like so-and-so? Because I think she might like you. And I'm like,
I do now then.
Yeah, it's literally, it's like, I hadn't thought of it. Like, I've enjoyed my time around her, but okay, let's see how this goes.
Yep, was how it went for me. I was like, oh, okay. Well, this person's interested. Turns out I'm interested now.
Yeah, and so that's the difference, right? It's like I'm not even at like Matt and Franny level. Again, like I did all right for like 1 week, right? But could I do it like that? No. And that's why showmances in reality TV tends to be amongst the young hot, because they don't understand, frankly, the fear of rejection. That's just not a thing.
Right, because the common outcome is not rejection.
Yeah, and are they batting 1,000? No, I would hope not. But it's a high batting. When they get up to the plate, they're expecting to get on base. Exactly. And really, after that point, it just matters which base.
Yeah. Base metaphor. I knew you were going to go there. I was just like, oh, you're setting this up.
I'm hoping Matt and Franny get to first base while the cameras are still on. I'll just say that much, though. Like, the hug is sweet and all. If that's all we get, I'm going to start to roll my eyes, which, frankly, I will admit, while I find the relationship adorable, Matt himself frequently induces eye rolls for me. Maybe it's just cut your hair, hippie. I don't know what it is. But.
Oh, all right. Speaking of people who have confidence, though,
yes,
which we just did.
That was amazing, by the way. That segue right there that I interrupted.
Thank you. I am the master of the segue. We had already left behind the talking about people with confidence, but I brought it right back. Let's talk about Jaime, who is just oozing confidence somehow.
Is it crazy? Like, in first episode, she's like, oh my God, this woman seems so out of touch and just like panicked all the time that she played a shot in the dark. And now she's the kingpin, I guess.
Sure. If you listen to Jaime tell it, she is running this game. Turns out you start to get pretty cocky when you've got two idols in your hand, or at least what you think are two idols in your hand. Even when one of them is definitely not real and the other one is basically going to be expired in like 2 days. So it'll be interesting to see if that confidence wilts in another day or so.
It does lead me to reassess a bit the first episode. And I will say in the first episode, I was more charitable to Jaime than most, in that I posited the idea that maybe she played her shot in the dark because she always figured that if she were to go to tribal council first, she would be in danger. And if that's the case, I can't really refute that, given traditional voting patterns. And I mean, hey, look at the voting patterns even this season. Although I suppose in that sense, they've shifted from older women to younger women, but it's still women. Now, actually, as exits have proven, Jaime actually was the initial target on that tribe. So again, she wasn't crazy. She may even had her finger on the pulse. But she is not that fraidy cat. And yeah, I think it's 100% the idols. Either that or the plant bonding that she did with Matthew, but probably the fake idols.
I would lean towards the fake idols as well. It was very funny that like they do a breathing exercise and she's like, aha, I found my people. Like, I mean, sure. I don't know. I don't know that you're going to necessarily vibe with these people either, Jaime. You might be a singular individual out here. But unlike Carolyn, I think Jaime would actually need partners in order to continue. I think she's going to struggle to find such partners.
I also think there's a chance that, her will bring more humor and entertainment to the process of fake idols. So
yes.
And what will be interesting is because a lot of the complaints about the producer given fake idols is that it is unfair to the people. And I think there's something to that, right? We've seen what competitors can create for fake idols in this episode versus what the producers have. And Sarah even said that the fake idol that she received, which was made by the producers, had pieces of it that you couldn't get around camp. But I'll say, Matthew was able to fool Jaime completely with with one he just created himself. So, while I think the people using producer ones, maybe have a bit of an advantage in fooling people. You can still fool people just as easily with one you make yourself, provided it stays intact. And also that you are, letting them find it themselves. So I guess if she goes to play it, we get to laugh more than when Matt goes to play it, and we just be like, well, man, what was he supposed to do? It was, created by production.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see if she tries to use that fake idol to fool others and then gets called out on it.
Yes, that would be better. Honestly, I would enjoy that more than walking up to Jeff and being like, that's not an idol.
I mean, it would be so much better if Carolyn sniffed it out, right? And just called her on her shit right then and there. That would be much funnier than her playing it incorrectly and having it tossed into the fire by Jeff, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And before anybody was like, whoa, wouldn't that mean it's strategic value? Person I just invite you to remember who created that fake idol and how they're not even in the game. So there's no way that this will benefit Matthew's game. Here go my original point that there's no value for these things. That's a segue a bit.
Now let's talk about some Matthew, because this whole episode was a build-up to Matthew leaving, which we didn't see on screen. We got the interaction between Matthew and the doctor. We're hearing, oh, this is so terrible. He has a decision to make. And then cut and left behind. We're going somewhere else for a while. And it's only with a few minutes left in the episode where it's like, oh man, we have clearly exceeded the amount of time into this episode we would need to be for a tribal council. There's no room left for a tribal council. And then that's when we see the boat. Jeff comes in and he says, hey guys, I have some news. Didn't even need to deliver the news because they'd all figured it out. And Matthew's going home. So what did you think about the way Matthew's exit was structured? And let's talk general thoughts about Matthew, because I have some.
Yeah, I was fine with the way it was handled. Now, one advantage I have for not watching live is I don't have that running clock to tell me that the episode's almost over. Obviously, when you're fast forwarding through commercials, you can have a sense of it, but it's not the same as looking at a time that says, it's 4 minutes left in this episode, which is nothing that the show can do, right? It's the same problem books have. Once the pages start to get smaller on one side than the other side, it's almost over.
Yep.
So I've heard. I don't really read a whole lot.
I was going to say this is weird reference for you.
So yeah, when the boat shows up, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's the end of the episode. And yeah, as soon as the boat shows up, it's like, okay, Matthew's out of the game. As far as not showing Matthew getting that news, I don't know. It's fine. It was kind of obvious where it was going. It preserves a bit of where I think it actually helps a lot is the scenes of deliberation on Tika carry weight because you don't know that there isn't going to be a tribal council. Now, I suppose there's a way of doing it both, because there has been times when somebody's been eliminated and they still go to tribal council. Literally this season, there's been that time. But I do think preserving it to the end, for portions of that time, you do believe that there's going to be a vote out. And then it also just could be a simple matter of maybe there isn't a clean scene. Maybe the explanation for why Matthew needs to go takes a while. It isn't just like, because I don't know if it was as simple as Matthew being like, yeah, I think I want to leave. I think if it was, we were already being led there. Like the scene seems to like go to that, like up to that point. Like, he's describing all of the pain and how it's only going to get worse and all of that. But maybe he doesn't follow it up with, I understand all this and I think I got to go. I think maybe there was longer discussion. So maybe there wasn't a clean scene, but again, it might have just been, we can make this episode like a little juicier if we just kind of wait till the end.
And I think that worked. I think that there was a little bit more drama to that final scene where we're seeing these deliberations and it's like, oh man, I think it's probably Josh. Like it's looking that way, but we got to see these things taking place and it felt like it had the chance to happen. And so, Matthew going home is fine. I don't need to see the specific, well, we're taking you off on the boat, wave goodbye to your tribe, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to see that. Like we've seen that many times before. We got told the story of why he's leaving. It just wasn't in the traditional manner that they do it. But I like when they switch up how they tell stories. I know that the Edgic crowd might claim that there's only one way you can tell a story, but there's not, right? You can play around with narrative. And I think they did a good job of mixing it up this week and helping to make an entertaining episode. The one thing that I really enjoyed, though, was Jeff telling this motherfucker that he got injured playing the game. He was climbing a rock, Jeffrey, of his own volition. What are you doing to this man? This was entirely his fault.
Sure, but maybe it's nice that the guy is suffering, like literally suffering, and he probably feels even worse that he's going home, maybe even worse that he's going home as the result of his own actions. It doesn't hurt to just soften the blow a bit.
I would say what I often say to people on social media, you could simply say nothing.
Jeff cannot say nothing as evidence for when he's telling the tribe that he's going and he tries to put together, like, I'm going to send this episode home with the whole, when you think something's going to happen and then it doesn't happen, but maybe the thing you think is going to happen is not that was amazingly bad, but just,
I can't believe that made the final cut of the episode.
I think the ethos of Survivor is, for the most part, you get one shot. So it's like, that's what he had. And it's like, well, that's
like, that was almost bad enough that you could picture him saying, okay, cut. We're going to take it from the top.
That's right.
Because
I didn't land that one.
Nope. That's on me. Let's start it from the top. Places.
Look, I have some sympathy as somebody who may or may not have every once in a while nattered a little too long when trying to land the plane of a thought that I have when I'm speaking in a one-take environment. So I have some sympathy. It was just perfect Probstisms, though, because it was nothing. He's saying nothing. He just doesn't know how to walk out of this. You guys don't have to go to tribal council because somebody got hurt. And I know you're happy about that, but also we don't want to seem too happy right now. Josh was amazing in that moment. Yes. Oh no, yes. I really feel bad for him. No.
Right, exactly. Like fist pump. Oh, no. Also, this is sadness. I fist pump when I'm sad sometimes. So now we talked last week about the amount of advantages in the game and how there were a fucking ton of them. This week we're about to lose 2 idols in a heartbeat because they're about to end up on the same beach next week. And so Those were the 2 temporary idols that were left in the game. Those are going to be gone. The inheritance advantage, gone. Matthew's idol, maybe gone?
Gone.
Question mark? Not
Confirmed
entirely
gone.
sure.
Confirmed gone.
Confirmed gone. Okay.
In exit interviews, confirmed gone.
How are you feeling about the amount of advantages in the game now?
So there's 2 idols, 1 extra vote. Okay. That's really not a whole lot. I mean, There's a bunch of fake idols. I suppose you can give them some weight. But this is why you and I specifically do not freak out over this shit the moment it happens. Okay? Even last week, I think we had a reasonable point. It's like, this feels like a lot. Maybe this is too much. But we weren't going all over being like, this is why Survivor producers are the worst people ever at their job. And this is why Survivor Australia is better and all that. Because sometimes maybe it's just not that big a deal. 1 idol got played. That's it. There was a maximum that 2 would get played. But always the real opportunity that it wouldn't be 2 very, either because of the situation that happens here where the same tribe goes twice. Forget the, injury part of it. Like, I mean, the 2 would have felt like a lot within those 2 weeks that, like, these grenades were just dropped on these beaches. But it's really not that big a deal, man. 2 idols and an extra vote. And I might want to remind people that extra votes, historically, like 98% of the time, that's not the real math. Don't
nearly useless.
Useless. Yep. So fucking calm the fuck down, everyone. Okay? Can we just do that? Can we just wait and see? You can express your opinions. What the thing of this podcast is, we invite everybody to express opinions and comments. Obviously, Twitter is an express your opinions like place. But not everything's the end of the fucking world, and sometimes things don't matter that much.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons that I'm finally off of Twitter. Like, there's only so much hyperbole that you need in your life. Like,
sometimes things are actually bad. Sometimes things are really bad. And if you treat everything like it's the worst thing ever, then it's hard to talk about the real worst things ever. Like boring Survivor.
Exactly. That is the worst thing ever. Like when you're tuning in to a television program to enjoy yourself and it doesn't make you enjoy yourself, that's terrible. That's when you can say, fuck this. I just wasted an hour of my life.
Now, I do think Matthew's idol will probably get put back into circulation. But again, that's nothing new. One idol per tribe is kind of how it goes, Right.
But I mean, we're about to end up on one beach. So, I mean, realistically, there's going to be a merge idol out there somewhere anyway. So,
or, his will function as that. Like, again,
exactly.
I expect there will be a third idol, but 3 idols really isn't all that unusual for the past 20 seasons or whatever,
Right. All right. So let's go around the rest of the tribes here and the rest of the people playing. Anything else jump out at you this week? No,
not really. I mean, I made the breakdown, so I got my thoughts off about my buddy Zane and all the other stuff.
Still fucking pissed that you wrote that, and then I just went with it. My brain did not remotely try. I was like, oh yeah, it starts with a Z because he's Canadian. Nope. Didn't even try to correct it. So I was disappointed that I counted 0 combat action rolls from Danny this week. Like, what the hell?
I mean, know. Like, he should have done it at lunch.
I know. It just rolled right into the sanctuary. I mean, stick the landing, Danny. Come on. Or especially right before you get to that scene where you're broing down. Brandon would have cheered the power roll.
I suppose you could argue that was the barrel roll of conversations.
It sort of was. All right. Any other pairings or interactions you're looking to see post-merge? Because now we're going to get all these people on the same beach.
Yeah, pairings. Literally every single person in Carolyn in some way.
Yes.
I want to see how every person reacts to Carolyn.
For the most part, that. But of course, I can't wait to see the men bro down because that's never happened before.
No.
Super excited.
And how could it fail?
Exactly. I mean, can you imagine? Bunch of bros doing bro things.
What if they try to bro down with Jam Jam because he was considered, the more physical threat of Tika? That would be amazing.
It would be amazing. I mean, I'd love to see Jam Jam subbed in for Josh. They're like, actually, I don't know that Josh is the guy we thought he was. Jam Jam, it's you. Come on, jump in here, buddy. Be so good. I actually might root for that trio.
I want Josh to just fight on the lie at this point and really go in with that fake idol with other people. Even though he completely betrayed it by a massive release of joy that he wasn't going to tribal council.
Oh, I like that he kept trying to pretend after it was clear that both of them were clowning him. Oh, I need that to happen again. I'm with you. Like if he... I didn't even thought of him continuing to try to use the same fake idol. Like he's gonna go back and he's gonna like get that twine all double knotted and be like, okay, no, now it's refurbished, it's good to go. They'll never know. I can get some other people with this thing.
I want him to show it to Jaime, and
yes.
Then Jaime being like, "That is such a fake idol, not like my real one."
Exactly. There's potential for comedy. So, I'm I'm interested in those interactions. I'm particularly interested in seeing how Carolyn and Jaime interact. Like, does their weird clash? Is it complementary weirdness? I feel like it's going to clash more than anything else because they're just not the same type of weird. And I want to see how that goes down.
Jaime can, with her newfound rush of confidence, overlook Carolyn, enact in a plan featuring her now 2 fake idols, because maybe she'll just try to pass off her other one as a real one too, even though it's expired. And that won't go well for her.
You know what I would really enjoy? The Parv scene at the merge in Heroes vs. Villains. Jaime just playing 2 idols on her allies to save them. Both of them. Not real idols.
Honestly, forget it. Like, sometimes for the sequel, all you want is the same stuff again. You just want to experience the same way. Yeah. Show Jam and Carolyn to it, and they'll be like, aren't those the beats from Tree Mail?
I mean, I would laugh again. I'm laughing now.
I would.
Oh. Anyway, this episode clearly left us in good spirits. Great stuff this week. I hope it continues next week. If you want to discuss more of this episode, purplerockpodcast.com is the place to do that. If for some reason you're still on Twitter, you want to talk to whoever it is that's running the show account these days, it's at Purple Rock Pod. Andy is at Purple Rock Andy. Don't even fucking try to talk to me. Anything else, Andy?
Hit the theme music.
This is the copyright free